Yo, this is Quentin Moore chilling in the Cigar Lounge.
This is the Captain, Hobo King 82. Hi, guys! Yo, this is MJ from Hot Garbage Cigar Club, and you're watching Cigar Loungin' Podcast.
Welcome to Cigar Loungin' Podcast. I'm your host, the local hero, here with my co-host.
Kim, bro, you know what it is.
I'm sitting here trying to light this fucking cigar. I might as well take two stones and bang them up against each other. Anyway, we have a special guest, man, from, now I can't say it, Casa Cuevas. See, I don't speak, like, yeah, you can tell. If I had to speak Spanish,
Casa
I'd get my ass
Cuevas.
whooped somewhere.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm very limited. I used to speak it okay when I was in Chicago, but then I moved over here outside of DC, and it's like I don't have to speak it anymore. So now I don't use it.
But what if
Anyway,
I still don't speak it that well? And I live with
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Went to TPE, had a blast, had some of your great cigars. Let's let the people know about your background and everything.
Awesome. So you need us to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How did you guys get into?
Oh man, we sort of
cigars?
fell into it a little bit, right? So my great grandfather was a farmer in Spain. He was not a tobacco farmer, but he was a farmer. So in the 19th century, he emigrates to Cuba, and he winds up in the easternmost part of the island, Pinar del Rio. And the crop there happened to be tobacco, so by default, becomes a tobacco farmer. And then my grandfather picked it up and did very well with it. And then 1959 happens. By 61, everything is confiscated by Fidel Castro, and we fled the country. I was born over there. I wound up going to Spain, as luck would have it, for about a year. And then we finally were able to actually come to the United States legally. We did. And then in the 80s, this is like 1970. And in the 80s, my dad and my uncle decided they were going to revisit what the family had done. So they went to the Dominican Republic, opened up a factory, and they've been there pretty much ever since. Now, my dad goes back and forth. My uncle's deceased, but my dad still runs the factory. And what wound up happening was in 2009, my father was going to come back to the States, and I visited him over there, and I said, listen, I think we should keep this going. I'm an only child. Kind of cool, fourth generation doing it. So we did. And then this guy jumped in with us a few years ago, and now he's with us, but he's about to go to law school. He's getting his acceptance letters now, so I'm going to lose him in the fall. But you know, you got to follow your own path, and that's all good, right? That's all good.
That's what's up.
That is what's up. But anyway, yes, it's we're proud to say it's a 5-generational thing with us right now, and we've been enjoying it. It's a beautiful industry. We're passionate about it. I've grown up around cigars all my life. This guy certainly has. So it's been a good ride. It's been a good ride. And you meet the most interesting people in cigars, right? When you go to a lounge, you're a perfect stranger. We all know you walk in, everybody says hi. And then you sit down, you have a conversation, and you don't know if you're talking to a millionaire or a retired guy or a bus driver or a guy that just lost his job. And, it doesn't matter. This is what kind of unifies everyone. I think it's pretty unique, pretty special. Right? Yeah.
Let me ask your son a question. Now, your earliest memory. Do you remember your dad saying, take that bottle out your mouth and put one of these in there? There you go. Be a man. We don't drink bottles here. We smoke cigars. Or did you did you just look up one day and was like, everybody smoking cigars. Let me get this a try. Like I know it was in your blood, because you know how some people try to resist it. But did you just see it and be like, you know what? I'm gonna have a smoke with my dad.
You know what? It didn't really work out that way with me, and I wish it would have. It worked out that way with him.
100%. 100%. The story you're saying is essentially
that's his story.
With me, yeah.
That's his story, which is ironic as hell. So I was going down to the factory in 82, 83, 84. I was still in high school, and I didn't pick up a cigar. I mean, it was just at the factory. I'd spend my summers there, but I wasn't smoking anything. And when I finally touched my first cigar, it was like 97 when the boom was going on. And it wasn't even one of ours. I wound up buying a La Rañaga at the time and a Macanudo Connecticut, which was the big deal back then. If you wanted something soft and light, Macanudos were the Connecticut's anyway, the best-selling cigar in the world at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's story is a little different. I'll let him tell it.
Essentially, mind you, I was about 15 years old, give or take, and it was New Year's Eve. We were over at a cousin's house, all of us all together, and I was sitting side by side. I was on the leftmost side, father was in the middle, and my grandfather was on the right.
All right, Captain Detail.
And yeah, it's important mental picture, you know? And my father, my grandfather are already smoking cigars. At this point, it's 2016. And they're essentially smoking the prototype for the brand, which was our Maduro at the time. I've never picked up a single cigar at this point. I've seen the factory. I've been to the factory every summer growing up. I've even helped out there. But I was never one to really pick up a cigar. It wasn't really my thing. I didn't really think about it. And during that moment, I don't know if it was the liquor talking from my grandfather's side or maybe he was just being honest. I don't know. But he looked me dead in the eyes, looked over, and he says, "Have you ever tried a cigar at all?" And I said, "No." And he says, "What the hell are you doing? Try one. Look, we have some right here. It's free. You don't even have to." And the first cigar I ever smoked and he handed me was that Maduro. I got about, I want to say a third, maybe like halfway through it. And I remember this distinctly. I was on the front porch after smoking it. I couldn't finish it. And I screamed out while fireworks were going off in the background. It finally hit Happy New Year. Everybody's celebrating inside. And I'm yakking myself out in the front because I didn't know how to properly smoke a cigar. And that was my first introduction into cigars, man. And ever since then, I fell in love with them, oddly enough. So here I am ever since. It's been years now.
It's in the blood. Yeah. Anthony said it. It's in the
Hey,
blood.
don't be a quitter. Don't be a quitter.
I learned the hard way.
Right.
How about you guys? When did you guys get into cigars?
Basically, we got the same story.
Yeah, pretty much same story. We was fresh out of college. We was living in a duplex condo. And we every New Year's we always get drunk, we always get hammered, you know, whatever. So we wanted to try something different. So one of my roommates, he was in the military, and he was a Marine. He used to smoke cigars a lot in the military. So we was like, oh, we're gonna try cigars. We go to Benny's, which is the local warehouse here, liquor warehouse here, and they also have a humidor. So we go up in I forgot what cigar. I think it was what cigar was it that he? It was a Romeo and Juliet. So we all buy the same cigar. We all get cutters, matches, and all that different type of stuff. So we get there, we get to the house, we drinking, countdown about to go down. We learning how to cut the lighter or whatever. I mean, cut the cigar, and then we go to light it. Everybody in the house is freaking coughing a lung out. We just coughing and they turn around and look at Ant, and he just sitting there like he been here before. So we all gave him my cigars and we went back to drinking.
Yeah, not everybody. I knew a little bit.
You knew you loved it.
I knew a little bit. I like they inhaling. They finna be fucked up. Well, I guess I'm finna give me some more cigars.
I didn't even get a chance to inhale. It was like off the first light of it. It was like I didn't even get it lit all the way, and I gave up.
But he came back. That's what matters.
Clearly, he came back.
That's what matters.
We slowly walked everybody back to the cigar world. So now everybody we smoked with that was kind of coughing up, we walked them back into it, you know. And now we got a podcast about cigars. Who would have known?
That's awesome. I love it.
Okay, so I'm sure you've been all around this place, right? Now, no, we ain't gonna put you on the spot. I'm just gonna say, what is your most enjoyable city to go to? I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but like your most let's say smokers friendly city you can go to.
You know, smoker friendly city. I got to say it's Miami, Florida, and that's not because I live here, but I do live here. So I'm not going to say it's my favorite city, but I've lived here all my life. But in Miami, you can smoke literally anywhere. There's a lot, just about every restaurant. If it has an outside area, you can smoke. Even high-end steakhouses, whether it's Morton's or Capitol Grill. If there's an area outside,
I love Morton's.
Smith and Walensky, name the restaurant. If it has an outside area, you can smoke. You can smoke walking down the street. You can smoke on a sidewalk. You can smoke in a park. You can smoke wherever the hell you want. At the beach, even, they passed an ordinance in Miami Beach, South Beach. You're familiar with South Beach, right? You can't smoke cigarettes, but you can smoke cigars.
Now, see, I don't know if it was. I was smoking on the beaches here. I don't know if it was legal or not. But
in Miami, it is to smoke cigars, not cigarettes, because they're afraid of the butts. But the cigar, it's biodegradable, so it kind of goes back into Mother Nature, so to speak. So they allow you to smoke. So even there, I mean, cigar friendly. Miami's pretty darn right up there. It really is. There's other cities, as well. But this one, I just don't bat an eye about lighting up cigar anywhere I go. We went to an art fair this past weekend, my wife and I, in Coconut Grove here in Miami, and we lit up our cigars and walked around and, grabbed a cocktail and something to eat, smoking our cigars. And you may not like it. You may go like this while you're walking by me, but there's a cop looking at me. No one's going to tell me no. So it's very, very cigar friendly, this city. I think it's pretty. We're pretty blessed. We're pretty blessed.
That's what's up. Yeah.
You gotta make it our mission. There's so many. There's a lot of cities that they got great lounges, but there's so many goofy rules, and you be like, "Come on, man, really?"
That's the thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's the thing.
Because like the lounges up here, you can't have it's either a lounge or nothing. You can't have a bar. You can't have food.
Wow.
And if you do have like a bar, it has to be in a separate part of the establishment. It can't be like, you sit at the bar and you got the tables and stuff over there where you smoke and stuff. No, it got to be in a whole separate part of the building. It's weird.
See, we got bars. So we got in the Maryland area, we got bars and a cigar lounge, but we don't have food. Now you can order your food and bring it in, but they don't sell food.
Well, there's a lot of places like that here too, where you have to order your food. They won't serve the food. But there's a few that are opening up now that are circumventing that. I'm not sure how they do it, but they're doing it. We just recently got a red phone booth that opened up here. We've been to it a couple times now, and my wife and I, we haven't ordered food there yet, but they give you a menu if you want it. So, I mean, it's not a full-on pasta meal or steak or chicken or whatever the hell it is, but it is, pizza, that kind of thing. It's food. So there's a couple places like that right now that are opened up, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, I get you. There's a lot of places, most places here where you can order the food and have it brought to you.
Yeah.
But the place itself cannot serve the food because you're smoking this. Still though, it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you actually roll yourself or mix?
God, no. I can butcher it.
We get that question all the time.
I can butcher it, and you know what? I got to take the time when we go to the DR. We go every month to actually take the time to learn how to roll. I can do it. So can he. It's just going to be a really, really ugly cigar.
Ugly as hell.
It's going to be a brutal looking cigar. Yeah. No.
So as far as your line go, like, what's one of your favorite cigars that you produce?
My favorite one right now had been the one he had created recently, which we couldn't continue because of the lack of the wrapper, called Sangre Nueva, which means new blood. Yeah. New blood. But in second place is the Patrimonio, which we launched in 2021.
Yep.
Which is our own Corojo, or the only Corojo that we have. That's a really, really good stick. I mean, all of our cigars, I think, are very good. I think they're as good as anybody's. But if you're asking me, and you did, Patrimonio was really the one that I go to all the time. And before that, it was Sangre Nueva, but we don't have them anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We can't get the wrapper. Cameroon wrapper. It sucks. It sucks. It does.
I'm really irked by it, but I mean, there's not much we can do about that, unfortunately.
What's your favorite?
So, which is going to sound kind of weird. You'd think it'd be my go-to, which is the one that I made, the Sangre Nueva. And I'm a sucker for it. Don't get me wrong. It has that little, a tiny little bit of that Kentucky Fried Curd inside that filler that really amps up that pop. And I'm a sucker for that. Enjoy it a lot. Also love the Cameroon. That bitterness that it brought out was just tremendous. But I find myself going back to this time and time again, which is our Reserva Connecticut. It's just a
Okay.
classic Smokers Connecticut, full of flavor, has an allure binder. It's Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and the thing smokes like a champ every time I pick it up. I can't complain. So I can go through about 4 of those, whereas if I were to pick up one of my Sangre Nuevas, it'd probably kick my ass by the second stick. So I'd say, mind you, I'm not, like I said, I didn't start off with Connecticut's. I kind of slowly crept my way into Connecticut's as I started smoking more and more. And there's some damn good ones out there, especially now. So it's a good time to be a Connecticut smoker. It's a good time to be a smoker in general, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, I got to say, as a side note, Alec, he worked at a huge shop here for about a year, and what they did was they encouraged him to smoke everything in the lineup, everything. And so he was smoking all sorts of different things all the way through, and that was really, really cool because it made his palate grow. He had a better sense of everything else because face it, I'm gonna smoke my own stuff because A, it's my own stuff, and B, it doesn't cost the same as if I have to go buy it retail, right?
Exactly.
But he was able to smoke a lot of variety, and when we created Sangre Nueva that he made, he took a lot of that knowledge and sort of parlayed that into the creation of the cigar. He's got a phenomenal palate, and he's got a great memory. He remembers everything he smokes. So he'll go to.
I was just about to ask, how do you keep up with all that?
I'll be honest with you,
does.
man.
I don't even know how he does it.
I'll tell you the truth. I've smoked bad. I've smoked good. I don't really think that there's such a notion as bad because I've ended up going back to a lot of them, let's say the third time, and been like, okay, I can get around this. You know, I feel as if for me, the ones that really stand out there are the ones that I rave about. And that was kind of my thing. That was one of my very first jobs, quite literally, just coming out of high school. And during that process of just being there and being a kid at a candy shop, loved to smoke cigars, and just having the opportunity to smoke that wall of cigars. When I tell you that wall alone of their selection took me half a year to kill off entirely. It's like legitimately pick up every single detail from every cigar that I could think of anyway. And then that's when I got to the hot stuff, the stuff that was limited edition on the table, TEA exclusives. I got to that after the fact. That took me even longer. No, that took me shorter period, but more or less around the same time frame. It was a lot of smoking every day. I was extremely smoked out. I remember that too. But so many damn good cigars, man. So many good cigars, I gotta say.
That's what's up. So when you smoking, like what do you like to what you think is the best pairing for you as far as when you smoking and drinking? What you like to drink when you smoke?
For me, I like bourbon. I like scotch. Coca-Cola. Not Diet Coke, not Pepsi. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola goes great with a cigar if you don't want to, if you don't want to imbibe in the adult libations. And coffee also works, which is what I'm doing now. But bourbon and scotch are my favorites. I keep trying to get into the wine thing with the cigars. It's just not working out. I think the cigar overpowers the wine. You don't really taste it. Yeah, I just don't like it. But anyway, and I don't know what this guy likes it.
I like scotch. I'm getting more and more into it now, thanks to my father, which is nice in terms of a pairing. Right? I tend to find myself, especially if I'm going to a lounge, and let's say they serve liquor. A lot of those, there's a lot of I guess for lack of we always say it's like a bar that sells cigars sort of situation going on here. I always find myself going to scotch or even old fashions. I love old fashions.
Old fashions work.
Yeah, old fashions.
The sweetness works. Yeah, sweetness works.
I've also been something that always sticks with me. I always like to mention it because I don't drink it very often, but it's always one of my grandfathers in town that I get the opportunity to, which is Zacapa rum. Normally, rum puts me on my ass. I wouldn't go out of my way to pick it up. Sincerely, but with a cigar, a good cup of Zacapa, it works very, very well. And that, my grandfather, I got to give him credit where it's due there. My father brought the bottle over to him. He fell in love with it. And now he happens to have a reserve always whenever he's over in town. So it works out.
Yeah, my folks, his grandparents, live half a block away from here. You can walk there.
Okay.
So it just works out. It's kind of cool that they're right there whenever they're in town. So it's kind of neat. How about you, Ken? What's your favorite libation of choice when you're smoking?
Libation.
Me, I like bourbon.
Okay.
I just had because like I was trying to get into Scotch because coming from out of college, I was trying to get away from like the vodka and all that because I had so much of that shit.
Sure.
And it was like, I'm done with this. So I tried to go to Scotch, but I didn't understand at the time that it's such a big category. But somehow I ended up at bourbon, trying to go to Scotch.
Okay.
So I drink a lot of bourbon with my stuff. I had a couple bottles of Scotch. I understood that. I found out quickly that Scotch don't go with nothing sweet. So if it got a sweet cap on it, if it's just a sweet cigar, like I don't smoke much sweet cigars these days no more anyway. Sometimes, people end up giving you stuff and then you don't even, and it's like you trying to smoke that, drinking Scotch is a horrible taste. So I'm like, yeah, we know now. I know Scotch don't go with anything sweet. But I do bourbon. I just got into rum heavy. And a lot of the rums, especially like rums that's been aged in like bourbon barrels and stuff like that, because they kind of almost drink like whiskey at that point.
They do.
And so that goes great with cigars. I just got into coffee not too long ago, and I find sometimes when I smoke, after I light the cigar up, it almost kind of tells me what I need to drink. Like I like if it's like a Connecticut or something and it's light, it'd be like, you need some coffee. Then I go make some coffee. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that when I drink my coffees in the morning, I like my Connecticut's. I do. They just go. It doesn't mean I won't go out of the norm and smoke an Habano or Maduro or a Corojo or something like that, or even a Cameroon, but Connecticut's seem to go well with coffee. I think in the end, right? It's preferences, personal preferences. Because I've talked to people going back to the wine thing, where they swear by the wine. I mean, they really, really like red wine with a cigar. I just can't find myself liking it, but that doesn't make it wrong. It just means I don't like it. That's what.
I try to dibble and dabble in wine every now and then, unsuccessfully though. Because I could never really find nothing I could vibe with. The only one I really vibe with is this Spanish wine. And I think the only reason why I vibed with it because it was aged in bourbon barrels.
There you go back to bourbon again.
Yeah, so it was like, I think that's the only reason why I kind of vibe with that one bottle. But in general, I just haven't found the wine that just, like, man, I'm going to get into this more. So.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. That's all right.
All right. So now you got your cigar, you got your drink of choice. What music you putting on?
All right. So I just like music in general. I'm a music head, hardcore. I love music. I always try to go out of my way, whether it's going to the office, whether I'm at the office, if I have the chance to put on some headphones, whether I'm driving back to find something new. I'll tell you, man, like, I want to say, like, old school 90s alternative, like alternative indie, alternative rock, but like from back then, from before my time anyway. That really hits a spot with a good cigar. It just does. There's something about it that it's nice, especially with a nice evening day. Hell, even a good drink. Sometimes at that point, I'll have a beer with a nice cigar. It just works very, very well for me. But I'll really shoot the shit to just about anything. I love music to a T. So
he's got a much more varied musical taste than I do. I'm a lot older, right? So we'll sit there and listen to a lot of 80s pop crap, which I know it's crap, but it's fun. I don't mind it. But if I really want to chill out and mellow, something jazzy is really cool with a cigar. If you're in a nice lounge and you got that vibe going on, especially with live music, when someone's singing that kind of those tunes, I think it's really cool. I don't know, it sort of fits the cigar thing in the lounge and the smokiness, and kind of brings you back to, well, hell, before I was born anyway, and I'm old as hell. So you look at these things. But if I'm in the car or I'm at home and I'm with my wife or whatever, we listen to a lot of that 80s stuff. Don't judge me, guys. I'm almost 60, so don't.
That's cool, man. You like what you like.
Yeah, we do.
With the touch to touch on one point that you were just talking about, like music in the cigar lounge. Like one thing I started noticing a lot, like a lot of these lounges, excuse me, on the weekend, I like to kind of like make it kind of like a club scene or whatnot.
Okay.
Like what do you feel? What do you think of that whole like kind of club scene in a cigar lounge?
You know what? We enjoy it. There's a couple of lounges here. I can think of Empire and Dadeland, and Empire Brickell also, but Empire and Dadeland is what we always go to, which doesn't mean anything to you guys, but it's close to our home. That's why we go there so often.
Mm-hmm.
And on the weekends, I'll have a DJ, and people get up and they dance, and they're smoking at the same time. I don't have a problem with it because it's geared towards that. But there's other lounges that we go to where it doesn't really fit the atmosphere. I like them mellow so we can talk and not yell over each other, and that's the problem sometimes when it's a dance lounge. Cigars lead conversation. If I have to yell at you constantly, that's not really working out very well. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
How about yourself? What's your preference?
It depends on my mood. And it depends on if I'm with a group. Like you said, like sometimes, you know, you want to talk and out loud. Like I don't mind it being background noise. Like if you know you got some good music in the background, but it depends on, because the older I got, the less people I want to be around. So
I hear you.
It kind of gets kind of like, you know, too much when there's too many people around and you walk in and it's loud music all at the same time. But like I don't mind it when I'm like in that kind of party mood. But if I'm like just want to sit back, chill, you know, probably meet some random people and have some talk about sports or some stuff like that, then it can be a little bit of irritant.
No,
if it's more than just background music.
I agree. It overpowers the conversation, overpowers everything. And then you find yourself not really enjoying the conversation or the moment or the people because you got to yell and yell and yell. And or you're only talking to the person next to you, but it's a group of 6.
Yeah.
You know, and only,
exactly.
Only these 2 can hear, but no one else can hear. And what's the point of getting together then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. Yeah, it depends on the mood, depends on the place. But you got to know what you're going to expect when you go to those places, right? You got to know. If you don't know and you're surprised, well, you didn't do your homework, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, so what you feel about the party scene in the cigar lounge?
I'll tell you what, I don't find myself going to lounges very often on the weekends. When I do end up smoking cigars, it tends to be with good friends. So the music choice is something that we just tend to put on. However, I am very used to being one of the only ones back in high school where you're hearing something complete out of scene when it comes to smoking cigars. Let's say you're having just a nice little get together, but it's, you know, midday. It happens to be a pool scene and people want, you know, techno music or something like that. Kind of feels out of place. And the few times that I have been to a cigar lounge where there have been a live DJ set and whatnot, I don't know. It's not that it doesn't jive with me. It's more so in terms of ambiance, I want to sit down, relax, have that cigar, and like you said, speak with people. That's really why I like going to lounges. You meet a lot of cool folks, and that's really where the conversation begins, especially if you're being somebody as young as I am. I'm all of 25 years old. So it's always a conversation piece and something that I get to learn from. I'd rather that than blaring music. And granted, if the music swaps over into something a little more Hispanic, like salsa or something like that, okay, that fits the groove a little bit more for me personally. But it really just depends. It really does. There's been some lounges that I've been to where I can't stand the music, so I won't go in there on specific weekends. And there's others where I wish it wasn't a weekday, because if I had the opportunity to stay a little bit later during the night, I would. It really just depends.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, I think that he doesn't go to the lounges at night as much as Denise and I do. Tomorrow night, Denise, my wife, we're going to go with some friends, and we're going to wind up at a lounge after we go have dinner, whatever, hang out. Whereas he does other things. So whenever he goes to lounges, it's usually with me during the day or by himself during the day to visit a lounge, this and the other. It's a different vibe during the day. It just is.
Yeah.
Usually people aren't blaring at 2 PM, you know, usually, right? So I guess it's a different encounter, so to speak.
I'm spending my time tomorrow baking cookies with my girlfriend because that's what she wants to do. So hey, we're doing that. Nice and simple. And then
Yep.
if she gets a little bit more around the curve to cigars, I'm getting her close. Now she's not too worried about her hair smelling like it, so I'm getting her there. She still doesn't smoke yet, but she's getting more used to it. So if I get her around that curve, then maybe we can go to a lounge a little bit after. After we have a nice little get together during the nighttime tomorrow. We'll see what ends up happening. So
Okay. Yeah. So, with that being said, what's your more like ideal preference place to smoke? Like some people like to smoke at the water, the lounge, different kind of place. Like if you had that ideal place, like Corona say, find your beach to smoke a cigar, like where would that be at?
Brother, I'll answer first, I guess. For me, I really enjoy. We're in Miami, right? So the weather's usually pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
I like my backyard, like my friend's backyard. A couple of my friends, all of my friends smoke. Imagine that, right? But the beach, not baking in the sun beach. Like you're at the beach and you got a cover over you and you're comfortable, right? I love that. And the waves coming in and, all that kind of good stuff with a cigar, I think is just perfect. I think it's perfect. Water, I think, is really what I like to look at when I smoke a cigar. I enjoy that very much. And we get a lot of it here, right? In Miami, there's restaurants with water and there's beaches obviously everywhere. So I think that's my preference, followed by, as I said, my backyard, which I love my backyard, a couple friends' backyards, because you can control the music, you can control how loud it is, rather. Forget the music. You can control how loud it is. And so you can have that conversation and you're comfortable. You can get up and grab a drink, come back. You don't have to. And obviously lounges are cool too, but I think that's my third spot out of all three. Yeah, that's me. How about you?
I'd have to say, so I'm on board with my father in terms of getting like a good group of buddies together, having somebody have a good back porch that everybody could just have a cigar on, have a good time. Especially my buddies now, they're trying to get more and more into cigars. So for me, that's great. I can just bring literally a pack of 5 and everybody gets one cigar, and it helps the process a lot in terms of them getting more into it. I love that scene, man. You have some of the most best, quite literally some of the best conversations I could possibly have with a good group of guys like that. But if I had to choose something a little more, how would I say, like image-worthy, vision-y, I guess, for lack of a better term, there was a moment where I drove up to North Carolina. I happened to be up there with my girlfriend's family, and we were staying in the cabin up in Sugar Mountain, up in the woods. That scene, especially in the evening, was just glorious. It was such a good time to have a cigar. There's something about it. I don't know if it was just the misty clouds rolling through the mountains. It really did something to me. That was tremendous. If I had the honor to go, and if that drive was even shorter, hell, I'd take that drive every other weekend if I could. Yeah, I really would. I really, really would. That moment sticks with me. That was 2 years ago, so it wasn't even that long ago. But I still think about that to this day. Hell, I can even tell you the cigar I smoked. It wasn't one of ours at the time. I didn't have any on me. But some of my girlfriend's family do smoke cigars, so they brought something else. In particular, they heard I liked a specific brand, Southern Draw Rose of Sharon, happened to be a Connecticut box press. And yeah, man, that was a hell of an evening. It was a good time. That was a great time.
We were blessed enough. We went years and years ago. We were in Turkey, of all places. And Turkey overlooks, or we were anyway, Istanbul overlooks the Bosphorus. So the river is there. On one side you had Asia, and then you were on the European side. But you can see Asia, right? And we were on a rooftop where the hotel was. And my dad, my son, and I would go up there every evening and smoke cigars. The day we went in the summer, so the sun sets like at 11 o'clock at night. But it's not hot at that time, 9, 8 o'clock at night. It's not hot. It's still daylight. You can see everything. But most of all, you can see that gigantic river and that water and that scenery. It goes back to water. For me, it does. I don't know. If I grew up in, I don't know, Chicago has a lake. I don't know. If I grew up in, name a state without any water, Arizona, probably I wouldn't have the same conversation. I'd say something different. But having come from Miami, where I have water everywhere, that's what I like. How did you guys come up with the idea of the podcast at all, man? How'd that come up?
So basically what happened was Hold on 1 second. Let me mute this doggone group so they don't call me again. Until I change it. All right. Yeah. So basically, what happened was we was already like trying to do a podcast. We started off with another podcast that we started on with. It was more of a kind of like a hip hop, pop culture type podcast. And then after a while, we kind of like slowed down recording in there. And then that's when I got back into cigars and stuff like that. And he wanted another podcast, basically, but he didn't know what he wanted to do. And I forgot who brought the idea up to him to say, how about you just do one about cigars? But then he realized he didn't really want to like review cigars because he wants to be able to smoke cigars and enjoy them while, you know, tasting them or whatever. And, you know, versus, you know, people, oh, I get notes of cedar and and all that bullshit. So we was like, how about we just smoke cigars, talk about like what cigars we like, and just have general conversation, like as if we was in a cigar lounge. And that's pretty much how it all came about. Like we do, like, you know, say like, you know, whether we like a certain cigar or whatever, and, you know, but we don't bunker ourselves down on like reviewing cigars and being like, rah, 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 rah. Too many people do that already. So we just rather have like a chill environment, talk about how much we like cigars, what cigars we like, what cigar blew your mind, and what cigar was surprising, what was kind of underwhelming to you, you know, just in general conversation. We rather have a conversation, learn more about the industry and people that's in the industry than talk about a cigar all day. You can only talk about cigars so much. Oh, this is a great cigar. It tastes like this, 5 minutes, the video over with.
You're right, Ken. And there's so much of that over and over. I taste hints of this and hints of that and hints of the other. And by the way, that's awesome. But you hear it time and again.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's more natural if we're doing what we're doing now, which is having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is that I guess people are. The idea is if you have a podcast about cigars, you got to talk about cigars, and you got to talk about that cigar
and only cigar.
And the wrapper, and the binder, and the filler, what it tastes like, and the hints of this and hints of the other. And I get that, I respect that, but there's so many of that, or so much of that going around that it's nice to break it up a little bit and do what you guys are doing. You know, I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. And if I'm a viewer and I'm watching it, yeah, okay. So what about the cigar? I can always buy the cigar and find a cigar and see if I like it or not. But let me hear about the people behind it and what they have to say, and see if I like what they're about, what the company's about, and what you guys are about.
Yeah,
and what you guys are about. So it's a good approach. It's a good approach. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather have people come on like you guys, you know, and talk about your own cigars and you know, let people know like what set you a different, why they should give you a try. You know, and if I have it, you know, I kind of piggyback on it if I like it. Like this is something, and then plus, you know, you got more of like the boutique cigars that kind of can be able to play around with blends a little bit more than some of the bigger guys and stuff like that. So like the last cigar y'all made, they probably can't make it because they got like such a customer base that they got to keep everything in kind of a certain realm where y'all guys are kind of growing it based on, if I put a little bit of this, how about if I wrap it like this, or, you know, different stuff like that. And you get, you know, more interesting cigars that way.
No, I agree. I mean, you get yourself a little more novelty from our standpoint, right? You can play around with it a little bit because we're not pigeonholed into anything. Yeah. So yeah, I guess you're right. And going back to what Alex said a few minutes ago, it's a good time to be a cigar smoker. I think everybody's trying their hardest to make the best they can. I've said this in several podcasts. I think it's a great time. In the 90s when I started smoking, 97, which is what I said earlier, that was the year. That was the year of the boom. It was this huge cigar boom, and there was so much crap out there. It was awful. There were some very good cigars, And there was a lot of really bad cigars. I mean, truly bad cigars. And for me to say a cigar is bad, that's an extreme, because I think in the end, if I don't like something and you like it, it doesn't make it bad. It means I don't like it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
These were bad cigars. No one liked them. And then they were just putting anything together. A lot of times when you have a cigar and it goes through the rolling process and it goes through the inspection process and then it goes to packaging. Well, during packaging, sometimes a wrapper gets damaged. And once that happens, you have to unwrap it and rewrap it. Well, back in the 90s, they were putting a patch on it. They were cutting out a little piece of wrapper and gluing it on top. So you're smoking your cigar with this glued chunk of wrapper stuck on it. It looked awful. It looked like you put a Band-Aid on it. And it did. And that was selling. That was okay. That was acceptable. That's unacceptable. Now it's unacceptable. Back then it was. So now everybody's really trying to do the very best they can. Whether you like it or not, those are two different conversations as to whether it's bad or not. Or whether it's bad or not. I'm talking about a cigar that you can't draw anything out of, plug to hell, that kind of thing. No, I'm talking about you're smoking it, you just don't like the flavors. Well, dude, somebody made that cigar thinking that was the best thing they ever came up with. Okay, somebody likes it. Hell, the owner's the one that likes it, but somebody liked it.
Yeah. I talked to so many, we talked to several brand makers, and they always got one stick that they absolutely don't like, but they produce it because their customer base like it.
Yep.
So it's like it is what it is at that point. And I feel like if you cater more to your customer base, you tend to stay around a little bit longer.
Well, the same thing happens to shop owners, right? If you're a shop owner and all you're going to buy is stuff that you like, you're missing out on a big market. For example, I don't like flavored cigars. I know they're a big deal, and I know Drew Estate has just done phenomenally well with flavored cigars, right? They were the kings of it. So if I'm a shop owner, all of a sudden I open up a shop, and I'm not a brand owner, but I don't like acid cigars because I don't like the flavors, but I know they sell. Guess what? I'll carry acids. You understand? Because I've got to cater to my audience, and my audience is the consumer that's walking in saying, hey, do you have an acid, whatever, blondie, whatever the hell they're called? I don't even know. Whatever. And that's fine. I'm good with that. Same thing with yourself. And same what you were saying a few minutes ago. Same thing with a manufacturer. You may make something, you go, my God, man, I hate this. But man, we're selling the hell out of it. Make it. Just don't smoke it. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You're making somebody happy.
Exactly. Somebody like it, sell it. Hey, don't cut your wallet short. That's all I say. So, with that being said, y'all producing us, like, how important do you think is a good band is for your cigar?
Well, we think that the band is
presentation wise anyway. I think the band goes a long way. So my background happens to be in marketing. It's something that I it fell into my lap, and then something that I ended up sticking with. And in relation to presentation, bands I think are important. And I say this sincerely if you look at something like the international market where they don't have bands. They went with the ugliest color statistically on certain locations anyway, certain regions of the world, and they'll slap it on the front. So you got this almost olive greenish color on every cigar band, so nothing looks different. Nothing really stands out to you, and nothing really looks tasty. I feel like bands make a big difference. Now, whether you want them really big and gaudy is up to you. Whether you want them really, really short, look at Padron's. Padron's band is as old as Testament's time, and those bands have not changed as long as I can remember.
No, they're as simple as they come. But they're kind of unique. They're kind of unique, right?
In their own right.
They're unique. But
that's what I mean. It really just does depend. There's certain, like, going back to the cigar, for example, the Southern Draw, right? That Rose of Sharon caught my attention mostly because it was a highlight pink band. I mean, that thing stands out a mile away, especially on a Connecticut. I can't even imagine that Maduro would have caught my eye right away. We had something similar in relation to that with the Sangre Nueva. I was playing a lot with the color basis of that, and I came across something that was very fortunate, nice and early. I'm glad I did, and I used those colors specifically for the band. And it really makes the wrapper pop on the cigar. I feel like the band is important in its own right, but when it comes down for you to smoke it, I feel like it's okay for you to take it off. I'm not one of those individuals, and I'm sure my father can agree too, that kind of leaves it on all the way through, almost like a status quo sort of thing. At that point, you're just smoking a good cigar. So if it gets to the point where I need to take it off, I'm not waiting to the very end inch to do so. I just simply remove it.
You know, I did that here.
Yeah.
What we do try to do though is always have our name, our last name on every single cigar.
Mhm.
So there's that recognition. We don't go on the side of, you can call it whatever you want to call it, and then people got to guess as who's making it.
Yeah.
It's going to say Cuevas first, and then whatever it is after, a secondary band, whatever it may be. But you're going to know it's us who makes it. Which the argument is that's not a good way to go, because if somebody doesn't like your stuff, then they're less prone to pick it up again if they see it. I think of it the other way. I mean, we're very proud of our product.
Mhm.
So if you like Cuevas Connecticut, and we have a new Cuevas Corojo coming out, well, you're going to give it a try because you like the Cuevas Connecticut, and so forth. Same thing with the Cameroon. So I think first and foremost, our name has to be there so people can do that name recognition and associate it, and hopefully it works out for us. And then we have a lot of stuff on the band that people don't know about. So underneath the name, you're going to have stars. The stars represent the generations. On the side, you're going to have country seals. And the first one is Spain. Then you get Cuba, Dominican Republic, and now the U.S. because my son was born in the States. Okay. There's a story behind everything we do. Now, whether people investigate that or not, I don't know. But it adds to our family business and our legacy, so to speak, as we're trying to build it anyway. Too young to have a legacy yet. But we're working on it, damn it. We're working on it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Because I like the fact that you put a lot of thought into the band and all that different type of stuff like that, and put some history in it. Because I don't know about anybody else, I'm always trying to figure out like what's this supposed to mean. Like, why did he go with this certain type of design? And plus, go back to your last name thing. For me personally, I don't think it's a big deal if I don't like something from somebody, because even with music, I always believe that if I don't like your whole catalog, I feel like you can make one or two things that I do like.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always go back. Like even some of this newer music, I still kind of listen to it because I know they might make a song I like. And the same thing, like not to put nobody on front, like Rocky Patel. Like a lot of his stuff is underwhelming to me. But I have found 2 or 3 sticks that I actually enjoy from him.
Really dig, and that makes you an educated consumer, and I think we're going towards that a little bit. Sometimes people will pick up a cigar from a brand and they won't like that cigar, but that brand has maybe 10 other facings with 10 different other blends. Oh, darn it. You don't like the Connecticut? Try the Maduro. Try the Habana. Try something else. Try their Torpedo. Try their Lancero. Try something different. Try their Box Press. Give it a go. Give something else a chance. Don't
Rocky,
walk
come on our show. Don't listen to him, Rocky. Niche. Look, we sorry. Okay.
He's not knocking him. He's saying what he's saying. Hell, he could say the same thing about us. And he goes, I tried your Maduro. I really, really didn't like it. I thought it was just average. But man,
I mean, that's how I feel. That's true. That's how I feel about Rocky. But Rocky do have 3 or 4 cigars. I'll be like, you know what?
Sure.
I'm getting that.
Mm-hmm. Like that Dark Star by Rocky. That's probably the first one. I was like, God damn.
But you liked it. Then you gave it a shot.
Yes, yeah. I tried. Like if you put out a new cigar, and if I didn't like your first 2 cigars, and you put out a new cigar, I'm still gonna fucking try it.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Yeah. You should have saw the pictures that he took with that cigar. Very provocative. He got banned from IG for those pictures.
Yeah, it's like people that sit there and say, I only smoke X. Let's say it's mine, our brand. I only smoke Cuevas. I'm going, dude, I'm glad you smoke Cuevas, and I'm glad your humidor has a lot of us. but brother, you're missing out on a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking earlier about alcohol choices that we like to drink with our cigars. Well, darn it, I don't drink the same scotch all the time. I don't drink the same bourbon all the time. Hell, I don't even drink the same coffee all the time. So I like to break it up a little bit. Coca-Cola is my staple. That one, yes. But from a soda perspective. But outside of that, yeah, I want to try different things. And I always have that saying that's me anyway, that life's too short to smoke a bad cigar. We've all heard that. But it's too damn long to smoke the same cigar, for Christ's sake. Hey, you're smoking cigars for 40 years and you're smoking the same thing over and over again? Oh, my God. It's like eating the same food all the time. You know what I mean? So our aim has always been to be part of your humidor, not the only thing in your humidor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you open up your humidor, you go, I'm going to have a Cuevas today, or I'm going to have a Rocky. I'll have a Rocky today. Or I'm going to have X brand today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in there, right? Maybe 2 days later, you go, I'll have that Cuevas now. As long as we're in it, we're good. There's room for everyone.
Yeah.
But people that just smoke the same thing over and over again just boggles my mind. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like, once you talk to like certain brand owners don't even only smoke their own shit.
Yeah.
They smoke other people's shit too. So it's like, why would you want to pigeonhole yourself and the person that you so loyal to don't even pigeonhole themselves to their stuff?
No, you're absolutely right. Whenever we travel and throughout the United States, we have brokers in different territories. And the brokers are brokers. They have several brands. First thing I do when they pick us up at the airport is give me something from one of the other brands. A, it's free. And B, I'm tasting something different. Right? My friends here locally, when they come over the house, I go to their homes or whatever, everybody has a humidor. I always raid their humidor and I grab other stuff. I'm bringing cigars with me, plenty of them, but I'm grabbing other stuff. Yeah, it's good. And whenever we go visit a lounge, we walk around and we look through the selection and I'll buy something that I haven't smoked, something different. Yes, if brand owners tell you that the only thing they smoke is their own stuff, I'm not saying they're lying, but they're limiting themselves. They're limiting themselves.
Because I could imagine you could also get inspiration.
Oh yeah,
from cigars. Like a chef goes to another restaurant or something. He has some food. Oh, you know what? I want to do something like this. It's not going to be the same because you're not going to have the same ingredients.
Yep.
It's not going to be the same, but you might get some inspiration. Like, wait a minute, what if I did this to it?
Yep.
What if I added a little bit of this or took out some of this? And created something totally different just off of having, somebody else's cigar.
That's it. That's it. It's a great analogy, Anthony. That's a great analogy. Yeah. I like that.
That's how I look at it. Like I be telling people, like, I look at a lot of podcasts. I don't just look at ours. I look at a lot of podcasts, Sometimes they have great topics. I'm like, we could do that topic. It ain't going to be nothing like they do it because they're sober when they do theirs. Be something close too.
That's why, because I do it. Because when it comes to editing, I watch other people's stuff. Because I be like, ooh, I could design something like that, but put my own twist on it. So I look at different shows, different YouTubers, all the different types of stuff, just to see what they setups look like.
It's important to do that. Yeah. You keep it fresh, and you kind of go with the times a little bit, and you change it up a little bit. I'm with you. So, as a matter of fact, the other day, I bought a bunch of different cigars for my father to try, and he smoked some with me. He took some back to Dominican. He was here this weekend. He took some with him, and I go, Dad, I really like that flavor profile. We should try not to make the same cigar. We should try to play around with something that maybe comes up to this, and that's going to be our next project. And in the end, it's what you're saying, right? You try different things to kind of freshen it up a little bit. Because if not, you fall into the rut of making the same thing over and over again because that's what you like. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what you like.
The average person is going to fall out of love with that.
Yeah, you got to go outside of it a little bit and say, okay, this is not necessarily what I really, really enjoy, but it's something different from what we have in our line. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. And go.
And I was going to ask you,
people like it.
I don't know if Kimbro asked you that, but I ask a lot of cigar makers that too, because a lot of them I talk to all say they have one cigar that they're not too fond of, but they did it because it tested well. Come on, you got one?
We have that
Yeah,
too. I guess all our stuff. I think you know what? I rarely smoke, and it's one of our best sellers, our Habanos. I don't smoke a lot of our Habanos, even though La Mandari, the one I'm smoking now is an Habano, but it's a different blend. Our core line Habano, it's just usually not my go-to. Not one I dislike. I just don't go to it all the time. So I see what you're saying, right? There's some stuff that is out there, and you're making it. You're going, yeah, but they're selling. So
yeah,
making it. Not a bad cigar. It's a great cigar. I just not my go-to. If I have my brothers, I'd grab a Maduro, or I'll grab this one, or I'll grab the one I told you about, the Corojo. But that Habano just flies, and people seem to go to it all the time. I've got friends of mine that's all they smoke out of our lineup. Out of all of our lineup, all they smoke is the Habano. I got to respect that.
They're like children. You got your favorite.
Do not go there, sir. Do not go there. He's got a sister. Don't go there.
You put the man on the spot right now.
Oh my God.
I'm saying this as a parent. I'm saying this as a parent. You got that one, you got the other one, you like.
That's
awesome. Real workout.
That's awesome. Got cockles. Oh my God. That's great.
I mean, we're being truthful here.
No, I hear you. You'll be a parent one day. I had no choice. I was the only child thing, so I had no choice. I was stuck with this idiot. But his sister and him are a year and 18 days apart, so they're right there. They're right there.
Mm. Oh, she's getting them out at the same time. Both of y'all.
Two birds, one stone.
Two birds, one stone. Get out of the way.
Are you sure? I know, honey. I got a plan. You'll thank me in about 20, 21 years.
I'll tell you what, man. When we, because being an only kid, it sucked, right? Playing G.I. Joe by yourself and tossing the football to yourself, and you hit the ball and you run and you catch by yourself. It sucks, right? Playing basketball by yourself, it sucked. So I wanted to have a damn football team of kids. I did. I couldn't afford it, but I wanted to have a truckload of kids. And then we had the boy and the girl, and my wife goes, we're done. I had a great argument.
Close up shop.
Man, we had the two boys. Let's go for the girl. You have the two girls. Let's go for the boy. Nah, no argument there. She we had the boy and the girl. I'm done. She's one of three, so she didn't want any more. But, man, I wanted a big-ass family. I wanted a big, big family. I'm blessed, but anyway. Yeah, I hear you. That happened.
Hold on, I'll be back. I gotta finish this up and I'm done. Hold on.
All right. So y'all do a lot of traveling and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what's a cigar lounge that kind of just took your breath away?
Locally took my breath away. And I'm going to say locally only because it's Tampa. So it's 4 hours away from here. It's called the Cathedral. Yeah. And that is an impressive lounge. It used to be a church. So they kept the wood inside, a very old church. They kept the wood inside the way it was from the church. So you still have this dark, dark wood everywhere. You've got the stained glass windows. You still got the organ. It's quite impressive. That was really cool. That's the one that sticks with me. And they don't carry our stuff. I'm not saying they don't. So I'm lauding them without them carrying us. But the bar, all of it is just a beautiful, beautiful place. The courtyard is gorgeous. The courtyard is beautiful. People are sitting outside. You're going, damn. Like, it's incredible. It's the prettiest lounge I've ever been to. That one took my breath away. So much so that I've gone to it a few times. Every time I go to Tampa on business, we'll make it a point to go there. And I always go in the mornings and have a cup of coffee and one of these things that I'm purchasing from another brand. That's okay. It's all good. It's all right. It's all right. I wish they carried us, only because it'd be really cool to be there. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, it really is. They're going through some struggles now because apparently they're trying to take away their liquor license after the fact, which I don't understand. But
Wow.
that's between them. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they won or not. It came out on PCA Magazine did an article on it. I think Halfwheel did an article. Halfwheel did an article on it.
Yeah.
So it's something going on. But in terms of beauty and impressiveness,
Oh yeah,
that place is super cool. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it. I want to check it out one day.
Brother,
one of these summers. One of these.
It's really pretty, man. Really pretty, and really different.
Because I know LH talked about it. Anthony talked about it a whole lot. Like he's the one that brought it to my attention. And he sent me like a reel on it. And one of our other buddies we talked to a lot here. Well, not here, but on Instagram. He went down there. Him and his wife went down there, and they had a ball down there. And I'm looking like I'm gonna be down there one day. I'm gonna be down there one day.
Go down there. Not to mention Tampa's a great city, but
yeah,
that cigar lounge is different.
It's impressive.
It's different.
Yeah. I can't tell you, like, if I'd have to go off appearance, that's definitely one of them. If I had to say one that took my breath away, hopefully this could be, like, in a funny way, too. Because I'd say there's one of them always comes to mind, C.L. Davis's shop. Again, the name, though. The name is what's killing me right now. I'm trying to think about this since you've been talking.
It's such a small shop.
That being said,
it's in Arkansas.
Yes.
In Arkansas.
Small little shop. The owner's known as the grandfather of cigars out there. He's been doing business as of this year for 54 years. So for quite some
time.
Okay. And I remember this sincerely because we walked in, everybody kind of brought their own chairs. There wasn't really any
you bring like a lawn chair.
Yeah, like your own.
And you sit. I promise you. But wait, it gets better.
The catch with this and why I fell in love with it was as we're having a conversation, the building is enormous. It's pretty damn big. But the humidor itself, the area you can actually smoke in, is really, really small. So you're wondering what the heck is the rest of this building? And the owner looks me dead straight face and he says, "Oh, I have a pet shop. That's all pets. I keep pets back there."
He sells pets. It's a pet shop.
He sells pets. He sells pets and cigars. So you can pick up a padrone and a parakeet. That took me by surprise. And then he was saying how he was raising tortoises as well, and he had cows on another portion of the farm. It was like a whole thing, man. That took me like off guard.
We sat around in a circle with our lawn chairs, and we just did what we're doing now. Just talk crap. It was really cool. Yeah,
it was a cool time.
Not fancy at all, but it's got a damn pet shop attached to it.
That is freaking amazing. Like you would never think that you got pets and cigars.
Out of all things. So that was I personally thought that, like, in terms of taking your breath away, that was impressive to me. I was like, I can't believe I didn't even think this was a combination. Like it just on the mind. That was crazy to me, man. And then that same night,
I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it.
Right? That place was just, in my opinion, personally.
I guarantee you, if you Google Arkansas Pet Shop Cigar Lounge, you'll find it.
You'll find it. That place.
There's only one in the entire.
It gets
you
one
can
of one.
put Arkansas. You can put United States Pet Shop Cigar Shop, and that's it.
Oh man, that is awesome. That is wild. Like,
yeah. It really is. That's why.
Like, if I just would have heard that off a whim, I probably would. I'm like, nah, man, ain't no way you got a pet shop in the cigars. Nah, ain't no way.
That's right.
You must have been grandfathered in, right? Because I mean, who allows now with all these rules and regulations? By the way, the area to walk into the pet shop, that's where you go to the bathroom, so it's open. Like you step in, it's not enclosed or anything.
It's enormous.
So everybody's smoking. It's like 20 guys smoking in these lawn chairs, and all that smoke is wafting in there, and all the birds and the goldfish and all the other crap that's there is all inhaling all that smoke too. So it's all good. It's all good.
Crazy.
Don't be surprised you walk in there, one of them parakeets got a cigar in their mouth.
Exactly.
It would not surprise you.
That's the running gag. Can you imagine that? He gets a pair of cigars. That'd be awesome.
Walk in talking about Romeo and Juliet. That place to see.
That was the other one. You can pick up a Romeo and Juliet and a rabbit.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
It's
crazy.
I love that. I love that place so much, man.
You're gonna have me down there looking for it next time. If my job should be down there, you're gonna have me down there looking like, hey, where is that? Excuse me, do you know where the cigar pet shop thing is at? Oh, it's right down the road over here.
And that's all you have to say. That's all you have.
And you'll find it.
And
man.
they'll find it for you.
The fact that he's been doing business for 54 years and that place is known for sure. There's no way. There's no way it's a hole in the wall. Not with that man's reputation and with that type of setup. There's no way.
It's actually very cool. and
That's gotta be crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The humidor was tiny, but it's tiny. It's like the size of a bathroom.
Yeah, it's small.
But he's got so much stuff in there. And then if you climb up to the top and you dig around, you'll find some obscure cigar that stopped being made in 2000 or 1995. It's bizarre.
Crazy.
It's kind of cool. It's very unique. Yeah, it's very unique.
You find a lot of goodies in there.
It's cool.
Wow.
It's a cool place. Doesn't take your breath away. Does not take your breath away. It's just cool.
Yeah.
I
ain't even been there and my mind blown. Just hearing about it.
It's cool. That's it. It blows your mind. It was cool.
It's like hearing about it blows your mind, but then actually seeing it's gonna blow your mind again. Like, wait, this is for real. Like,
it was awesome, man.
You guys are telling me the truth. It is.
Yeah, that place is great, man. That place.
Wow.
You also met some people there. You had some great guys.
I think I heard it all now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I can't even think of another because we went to a lot of lounges, man. I can't think of one that really has a similar feeling to walking into something like that. You know what?
That's so unique.
I know, but like I'm
so unique.
So
like the stained glass windows that we were just talking about, the cathedral, and you can't I guess you can replicate that and make it, but it's the original stuff. It's the original building. They just gutted it to the point where you still kept the feeling of the church in terms of the structure. But then you have that, and also it has a basement, which in Florida is rare. Yeah, you don't have that. It's got that upstairs. That cathedral is very, very pretty. Very pretty. Expensive, but you expect to pay that because it looks as pretty as it does, and I'm sure they spent a pretty penny. It is what it is.
Now you gonna have me walking in the lounge like, oh, it's a cool lounge, and I ain't got a pet shop though.
Right.
It's cool. It's cool.
I gotta find the name of that.
It's all right.
If I find the name of that, chances are I'll look it up after this. I'll find it up. I'll send it over to Anthony through email, and then hopefully get that information. If he's confused, he better be, especially.
He go hit me up like, they just said me. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of messing you up right now, ain't it? Yeah. You never thought you would hear anything like that, did you? We up here complaining about not having a bar with our cigar lounge, and this man got a whole pet shop with his cigar.
Indeed. I mean, we've seen some beautiful lounges out there, but beautiful lounges because they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can't sit there and enumerate them all. But speaking out, I'm telling you, man, that cathedral is wow. They did it right. They did it right.
Yeah,
they did it right. The building loaned itself to that, and on top of which, that courtyard's impressive. And I've never smoked it in the courtyard. I always walk by it as I go in, but I look and I'm going, wow, this is really sweet. Really sweet. What a sweet place. And the humidor is enormous.
It's
enormous.
massive.
Again, doesn't carry us. If they're watching, hello.
You got to give my man a. You know what? Let's take this time right here to kind of describe some of the stuff that you got. So if they watching, they can probably let's try them out.
Oh my gosh! If they're watching, you got to try us out. Because our attention to detail is second to none. Yes, it's a handmade product, and things go wrong, but we always fess up to it. So whenever we've had issues with a customer saying this one didn't go well, it was plugged or whatever, we replace right away. We stay behind our product. I mean, who am I going to point a finger at, right? My dad runs a factory, and the factory is ours.
Yeah.
So I can't blame the factory. Then you go to packaging, which happens, well, it's factory, but I'm saying from here. We're shipping over from here to there. We screw up on shipping. Well, we're the shipping department. We're the janitorial staff.
We do it all.
We're the HR department. I mean, if you talk about a mom and pop place or pop and pop place, it's three guys running all of it. We do it all. So I think we really care about the product. It's got our name on it. We really, really love the industry, as you can probably tell. God, we've been doing it for a long time. we try our very best to make the very best product we can. And our cigars are varied as hell. You have a flavor profile, I think, for everybody and anybody there.
Which is what we intend.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So whenever we come up with a cigar, we want to make it different from the other cigar, from the other cigar, from the other cigar. So you don't pick one up and go, all they're doing is rebranding it and calling it something else. No. If you tell me that, you're lying, because you just are. Because the blends are different on purpose. They're different. Eventually, we run out of tobacco to choose from. But right now, we're trying our hardest to make it as different as possible. So if you want something mild, we gotcha. Want something a little more forceful, we gotcha. What we don't have is any chest busters. We don't have any kickers that you're going, whoa, but we do have what my son calls creepers. And explain what a creeper is.
All right, so this happened to me specifically with
the creeper's a great story. Excuse me,
the
one second.
matrimonio. Man, let me tell you, that thing kicked my ass. It kicked my ass. And I say this with the utmost sincerity because it's my father's go-to morning smoke. And to this day, I don't know how the hell he's able to smoke it.
I'm a man.
Yeah. So we initially got the blend down pat. We finally launched it. And at that moment in time, we didn't have the specific bundles on hand. So there was a little bit of a waiting period before they came fresh from the factory and we were able to actually sell it out to shops. Now, getting to the blending process, for those of you that don't know, when you're smoking at the factory and you're smoking a fresh cigar, it's going to taste different when you let it sit in your humidor for the month and a half or so that you need to leave it in there. It's going to. Now, whether for the better or worse, it really depends on your palate. That being said, I've only at that point in time smoked our fresh Patrimonio, which is the first time using Honduran Corojo. It has a Nicaraguan binder, and it was also our first time using Peruvian filler, so it has this little bit of a citrusy note. All sorts of this new tobacco, we were really going out of our wheelhouse, something that we've never really used before. That being said, I'm sitting down, smoking a cigar, the final product, finally get it in, and I'm there with our old marketing director at the time, or the individual we were working with, and my father was there as well. And as I'm smoking it, I'm enjoying the hell out of the cigar. We're having a conversation about what's going to be holding into the future for social media aspects. And as we're talking about all those specs and whatnot, I'm starting getting closer and closer to the halfway point. And once I start getting there, I start sweating. I don't realize I'm sweating. I call it sweating in Spanish. You're enjoying the cigar so much that you just start kind of breaking out and doesn't even cross your mind. As that's kicking in, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little paler, but I'm trying to keep the conversation going. And finally, I'm at the last third. I'm dying. I want water. We don't have any water to be had there. I just drank the last one. I finished 3 bottles before that. And it dawned on me that the cigar is kicking my ass, and I'm already all the way through it. I might as well finish it. That's when the old marketing person at the time, the marketing team, looked at me directly and said, "Are you okay? You've been sweating bullets for the past 30 minutes. Like, are you sure?" And he says, "Yeah, you don't look like you're doing okay. Like, put the cigar down." I was like, "But it's really good." And he goes, "I get that. But you also look like you're on the verge of passing out. So either put it down or take it like a champ, but you're dying right now." And that came up with the creeper. That happens on a few occasions where you'll have a damn good cigar, one that's very full in flavor, very robust. Carries a lot of those bitter, very full tones, oakiness, whatever the heck you want to call it. But that being said, as you're smoking it and you're enjoying it, you love it so much and you're smoking it like a champ to the point where it's getting closer and closer to the more packed section of the tobacco. And you don't even realize that it's putting you on your ass. So much so that the next time you stand up, you feel woozy as hell. That's a creeper. We have a lot of those in our lineup.
He calls it the creeper, which I think is a great name. It just kind of creeps up on you.
Yeah.
It's like when you're drinking something very mild and mellow, but it's really strong, and you don't realize it. And all of a sudden you go, whoa, I had 3 of these things. I'm like, hey, and you have 5 and you're, whoa, but it tastes good. It tastes so soft. And but the alcohol is there.
It's like having back-to-back tequila shots. Same thing. You can have that thing sitting down back-to-back and it's smooth, it's clean. You're enjoying the flavor. The little lime helps. All those little benefits. But the minute you get up, the room is spinning and you know it.
Exactly. I've been quite a few times, more times than I would like to admit. But I understand very well.
That's a sensation. So in terms of our lineup, yes, we do have some creepers. We don't have anything full-bodied, but even in terms of spice, our Habano does very, very well. A lot of what we use, we like to say we're blended Scotch rather than a single malt. It's very much how we operate. So though the factory is out in the Dominican Republic, we use all sorts of different tobacco in question beyond just what's found in the Dominican Republic. So we use a lot of tobacco from Ecuador. We've used Colombian tobacco. We've used Nicaraguan tobacco. Obviously Honduran, like I just was saying. We use Pennsylvania broadleaf a hell of a lot because we like Ligero and we like a little bit of added strength. But I think something that does separate our cigars from a lot of other individuals is that our cigars tend to be very well balanced and they leave a clean cut on your palate. You're able to pick up another one and also get all those flavor profilings without overburning your palate. That tends to happen with not that many cigars I can think of off the top of my head, but that being said, we do take a lot of pride in that. That's why we almost urge you, if you're going to pick up, let's say, our Habano and our Maduro, we're perfectly fine with you smoking it back to back. Both of them won't kick your butt, first and foremost. And secondly, you're able to get the full profile of both of those cigars, even if you were to light it up immediately after just putting down the other one.
Yeah, I just switched from the Mandaria to our Reserva Maduro this way. And right off the bat, it's a different cigar. I mean, it tastes totally different.
So we have a pretty good lineup in terms of Connecticut's, Habanos. We got Maduros. We use Mexican San Andres for our Maduros. So though they look dark and though they look relatively strong, they tend to be really smooth, creamy, chocolatey, and still carry a medium body in terms of the flavor profiling. We even have something with a little more oomph to it, both in Connecticut and Maduro, which is the one that my father's smoking now, our Reserva series. The Mandaria, which is the sledgehammer, the one I'm currently smoking. We call it that because it's a little bit of a spice bomb. You're going through a shag foot, which is the binder and filler first. But once you get through those first 5 minutes, after you light the living hell out of your cigar, finally hit the wrapper, and that's when the spice really picks up in the stick. So that's why we call it the sledgehammer. It does very well. It was initially limited edition and became full-on production because people enjoyed it so much. Patrimonio, as I said, is one of the very first creepers that we've ever created. Though I beg to say that my father thinks the Mandaria is definitely up there on that list too, to be fair.
It is.
And then finally, the newest, I guess the most obtuse of the blends themselves that we've created, which was the Sangre Nueva. First time ever using Ecuadorian Cameroon. First time also tinkering with Kentucky Fire Cured, and not too much for it to overwhelm you like a barbecued smoke, but just enough to add almost a peppery note to your smoke. That's another one that's also a bit of a creeper, depending on the Vitola you pick it up.
It's a good cigar, though.
Yeah.
Good cigar.
So that's quite literally everything that we got in the lineup. We got a lot of other stuff in the works too, a lot of stuff that we've discussed. As my father said, we brought up certain things to my grandfather's attention for future works. And as of right now, the rest of the ball is just to keep it moving and keep on pulling out some new stuff, things that we've never really tried before. And hopefully you guys like it just as well as we do.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that when I reach out to Anthony tomorrow through email to get a mailing address to send you guys some samplers of our stuff, so you can sample our cigars and hopefully enjoy them and give us your honest opinions. I mean, you're not going to hurt any feelings. You're not. And having talked to you and knowing a little bit about you right now, you're open to the idea. Well, you know what? Guys, I liked this one. I really didn't like the other one. That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're all different.
That's what we're all about.
They're all different. We're all about that. As long as you like one of them, I hit a home run. It's okay. I mean, in baseball, if you're batting 300, you're kicking ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? So I'll take it. We'll take it. We'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
But definitely you guys can try that. So I'll make it a point to do that, get the address, and send you guys a little care package your way. And do you guys live close to each other?
Actually, no. He used to, because I'm still in the Chicago area.
Okay.
He used to, he from here, from Chicago. He moved to, because he's now in the Baltimore area.
Okay.
So he's a little bit closer to you guys than he is to me.
Oh,
you in Miami, so but y'all like south. Y'all like the bottom.
We're way the hell south.
Real south.
We're way the hell south.
Yeah.
We're 3 hours away from Key West, so we're as far south as you get in the United States. I'll tell you what, though, when I email him, if you don't mind, if he gives me your address, then
That's fine.
I'll send you a separate package. Yeah, that's good.
That's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know we will send you a separate package. Yeah, brother.
Yeah,
try them, man, and hopefully you'll like them. Hopefully you'll like them.
Yeah, I'm always open to try new cigars. Like I said, if I don't like it, I'm not the type that's gonna like bash a cigar just because I don't like it. I don't think that's productive.
No, it's not. Don't say anything. Right? If you don't have anything good to say, like our moms used to say, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all, right? Yeah.
No, I'm more type like it's cool, but it's not for me.
That's fine. That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah. there's a lot of cigars that I don't. Well, honestly, I haven't really had a bad cigar because very rarely do I go out and like just venture in cigars. I usually take suggestions and different stuff like that. And every now and then, I might get one that's probably a little underwhelming. I kind of started with, when I got back into it, I kind of started with some of the flavor cigars. I can't smoke a flavor cigar no more now because, my palate is somewhere else right
It is
now.
somewhere else, yeah.
And while I had picked up a cigar, I never heard of it. And I didn't know it was made by Drew Estates. The flavored Drew Estates though.
Yeah, I know, I hear you.
And I picked it up and it was like, I just wanted to throw it out the garage. Like I didn't want it around me no more. So, it was like the aisles of something. And it was like, oh my God. Like it started out okay. It was like, okay, but once it got to that second, third, I'm like, I am really not enjoying this right now. So, I never picked that one up again. And I kind of, like, I still have a soft spot for like Java.
Yeah.
Some of the dead wood stuff. I just know I can't smoke it no more. I just look back at it like that's where I was about 3 years ago. Now I'm like on to other stuff. But yeah, I don't never really trash cigar unless it's like a TMO or a freaking, I don't know if you ever heard of a Soledad. That one is freaking horrible. Look it up. And then when you see the price on it, you can be like, oh yeah, that is trash.
Wow.
Like, I don't even understand how people say, because like one of our other buddies we hang out with on Instagram, he sent me some. He's like, if you ain't never had a Soledad, you need to try it out. Those cigars are freaking horrible. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we had this challenge going on and stuff, and he sent me some, and I was like, I didn't even want to smoke no more that day. It was so bad. I was like, so we did like this whole Secret Santa thing, and I got Anthony in the Secret Santa, so I got him some nice cigars, but then I wrapped it up in the bubble wrap, and then on top of it, I set the Soledad on top of it. So as soon as he opened the box, that's the first thing he see. He said he saw it. He said he threw that ball right out the door as soon as he saw it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Well, yeah, man. So we mess with each other with a lot of different cigars that we don't like. We have a lot of conversations with stuff. So a lot of my most of my cigar journey is based off of what people suggest and what people like and blah, blah, blah. And I try them out and see if I like them. I did come into a lot of underwhelming sticks, some from the same thing. And plus we got like a lot of different brands here in the Chicago area that are really phenomenal. Like Black Star Line, they just dropped a Benny's exclusive called the Jean Baptiste. That was a really freaking good cigar.
Okay.
That was really good. So they do a lot of good things. We talked to another cigar brand called Sassy Soul. She's in New Orleans. She makes some really good cigars. Like she grew a lot as far as her cigar lineup went. Cause like a lot of people was like really digging like the new stuff she's doing right now. Like, her beginnings was kind of like, some people liked it, some people didn't too much care for it. Then as she grew, her cigars got a whole lot better, and it became more of a synopsis of like, especially for like the price point she's selling, it's some really good cigars.
That's cool. And those, by the way, neither of those have I heard of before. That's interesting.
I've heard of Black Star. I've heard of them.
See, I have not.
Yeah, Black Star Line. Yeah, they got some really good cigars.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
The Jean Baptiste.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I haven't tried.
Actually, I probably would have to send you guys that one because it's a Benny's exclusive, and Benny's is only in the Chicago area.
Gotcha.
So like, whenever you send me, what y'all gonna send me, I just resend y'all some of those and let y'all try those.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind of
you. That's a really good cigar. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you say you have like an extensive like line of cigars because I know y'all y'all's third generation right now, or is it?
No, it was
4.
consideration, but what the factory has been doing is producing cigars for other brands for a very long time, and it still does it, right? So we make cigars for other people. That's really the bread and butter of what the factory does. On our end, we've been around now for 7 years.
Yeah,
the brand has been around for 7 years, and every year or so we come up with something a little bit different. We extend a vitola, we come up with something new. We've always tried to kind of keep it a little bit fresh, because when you go to these shows, the trade shows where I met Anthony, Alec was not there, by the way. He was really quite sick that day. So the day we flew, I canceled the flight for him because he looked like death's door. It was horrible. I go, you're not going to talk to anybody, sell anything when you sound like you're dying. So that's not going to happen. Anyway, so when you go to these shows, they always want to know what's new. What's new? So you have to have something that's new. You have to almost. That's part of the deal. So we try to keep it fresh and keep it new. Some have gone better than others because that's the way it works. But the idea is you expand your portfolio, and hopefully someone like you, not you because you have a podcast and you're into cigars, but someone who's into cigars, doesn't have a podcast, will find something in your lineup that they're willing to keep going to. And that goes back to our point, a few minutes ago where we were talking about, damn it, if you don't like this one, dude, don't give up on the line. They have a bunch of other stuff. Try the other stuff. Not all of it, maybe. If you try 1, 2, 3, and they all suck for your palate, then stop. Yeah. But give it a second shot. Like you mentioned the Rocky Patel a few minutes ago, until you found one you liked. And you go, okay, I like those. That's good. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah. That's our aim, essentially. And the idea, hopefully, is everybody likes everything. But that's a difficult thing to do. Yeah. Yep. And think about this for a second. The sampling thing that you were mentioning earlier, we don't have the resources to give out 1,000 of our prototype and then have some inquest as to what they liked or didn't like. So really, it comes down to my son, myself, my wife who smokes. I'm pretty blessed because she smokes. She plays golf. I'm lucky as hell. It's true. My dad and a couple of my friends here in Miami locally. So you're talking maybe, 8 people. So 8 people are going to smoke a prototype, and we'll make 10, 12, 15, 20 of something, different blends, but of what we're aiming for. And I do a blind tasting. They have little numbers on them, a 1, a 2, a 3, etc. And then we'll take, hey, Ken, did you like, I really hated number 1, but I love number 3. Alec, what'd you like? I like number 3. I didn't like so number 1's out. We all know that. Ken didn't like it. Alec didn't like it. My dad didn't really care for it. Whatever, right? All right, so that's done. But in the end, you've got 8 people choosing something that you're going to put a band on, make boxes for, put one on the market. And then once it's out, it's out. You can't change it. Let you change it once it's done, right? So it's a very small sample size of something that you're putting a bunch of money into and hoping that the rest of America is going to fucking like it. That's a bit of a challenge, Yeah. And I think most of us kind of go through that. And the bigger boys come out with whatever they come out with, and they don't care because they have a brand that goes with it, and people buy the brand. We're not there. Talk to me in 20 years, and maybe I'll be there. But right now, I'm not. So right now, we're trying our hardest to think of something that at least the 8 of us have decided on, 8 or 9 of us, whatever it may be, and said, okay, this is it, and then off we go. And my friends enjoy it because they get to be part of the creation of that particular, brand launch that we're doing, and which is kind of cool. For them. I know they all enjoy it, and I want their honest opinions. I want Louis, all 12 of them suck. Okay, then we got to start from scratch.
It's a good thing we know.
If you're going to kiss my butts and tell me, oh, I like it all, then you're lying, number one, and you're not doing me any favors, right? As a friend, you're trying to hurt my business. I thought you liked me, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, it's always cool, and it's always crucial to have people that keep it 100 with you. Like, you don't want to put out some trash and you looking at the people that said it's like,
this is great. No, it's not. Man, tell me it's not great because it's crap. I rolled it with, cow dung. Give me a break. You tell me it's good? Come on. Who are you kidding here?
It's always good to have somebody in your corner to kind of keep you a little grounded and try to give you constructive criticism, because I've seen a lot of people that just want to shit on something for the sake of shitting on it. Like, you know, and it's not the way you want to conduct yourself, and you wonder why, you know, some people don't want to deal with you when it comes to certain shit like that, because you don't give me nothing I can learn from. From. If you just tell me, oh, your shit trash and blah blah blah, what am I supposed to learn from that? Like, you know, you give me something like, oh, the construction wasn't that great, then okay, I can go back and pay more attention to the construction. You know, shit like that.
Yeah, you need constructive criticism, but you need the criticism as well, right? Even if it's constructive, I also need you, we need you to tell us the truth. I need to know what you really think about it. And the circle of friends of ours that we have, obviously we're doing it immediately because that's what we do. But the other folks, they're comfortable enough to sit there and say, yeah, not for me. Not for me. It was too this or too that or too mild or blah, 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 blah. Construction we can always play with because construction is construction. Yeah. But flavor profiles, if you're going, my God, this tastes like air. I'm smoking air. I can't taste any tobacco in here. All right, we gotta reblend this. That one's out. Yeah, you know what I mean? Difference. Or this is way the hell too spicy. Okay. All right, we got to figure this out a little bit. And you only hear from one person. No, you hear from everybody. Then now, of course, you're gonna have the one or two that like that number one that I mentioned earlier. But if the other six don't like it, then I'm sorry, you got screwed. You know, number one's out. Right?
No, don't do it. Sorry, the other people didn't want it. So,
but it's a fun process. But it's a process that's difficult, and sometimes consumers don't get that. It's tedious. It's work, and man, you have a small sample size, and you're going, okay, all eggs in this basket. Let's go. Let's just give it a shot. And that's a hell of a risk, right? A lot of money goes into that. Yeah, it does. It does. You know, you're doing press releases and this and the other, and boxes and bands and barcodes and all the other shit, and making the cigars as well. And nobody likes it. Damn, I just lost my butt. You know. But that's business, right?
Yep, definitely. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So, I don't think Anthony's coming back. And I'm about to my tap is about to die over here. So
no, we're tapped out. We gotta have dinner too. So
So I mean, it's been fun. You know, you're always welcome to come back if you got something you want, or you just want to just sit down and we just talk a bunch of crap. I don't care.
No, but, man, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm going to, like I said, email Anthony tomorrow. If he has your address and you don't mind me getting it, we will send you a sampler. We'll send Anthony a sampler as well, and hopefully you guys will like it. And if you don't, let me know. Seriously, let us know. I like this one. I hated the other one, or whatever it may be, or they're all okay, or whatever it may. But we always like the feedback, and I don't get hurt. Yeah. I don't get hurt by honest opinions because that's what I value. I need that. We need that. Yeah. We need that as a guidance. I have no guidance if the consumer doesn't tell me, hey, you hit a home run with this, or this was not very good. This is a dribbler to first, dude.
Yeah, you need the criticism.
I mean, this was,
only way you can grow.
Only way you can grow. You got to have thick skin in this business. You got to have thick skin in this business. You remember, are you married, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. So you remember when you were a young man and you go to a lounge, a bar, a club, whatever it may be. Dude, if you don't ask the girl for her number or to dance or her name or whatever the hell it may be, if you never ask, if all you do is lay around and with your back against the wall, it never happens. So you get turned down, you get turned down, you get turned down, and then boom, there it is, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. You got to have some thick skin and say, okay, they're going to criticize this, criticize that, but shit, they love this. That's all you need. That's the way I look at it. It's trial and error. Yeah.
Yeah. One yes can trump 15 no's.
Absolutely. And then you find your wife. So there you go. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Ken, man. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun too. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cigar Lounge Podcast, and we're about to get up out of here. And like always, blow your smoke like a gentleman. And we out.
Take it easy, guys.
What's up, everybody? It's your local hero. Thank you for watching the video. I want you to like, share, subscribe. Catch us on YouTube, right here on YouTube. Make sure you catch us on YouTube. I want you to catch us on Facebook, Cigar Lounge Podcast, Rumble, Cigar Lounge Podcast, Spotify, Cigar Lounge Podcast, Anchor FM, Cigar Lounge Podcast, TikTok, Cigar Lounge Podcast. I want you to catch us on IG. You can catch us under the Gentleman or Cigar Lounge Podcast. Either one of those works. So go ahead. Thank you guys for liking the video. I hope you liked the video. And follow us on all our social media sites. We everywhere you get your shit from.